forgot, George. You're European. Make sure this mic's good before I go into things. 1, 2. All right, we're good. Let's get it. What's up, guys? Why does it get so close? I fucking hate that shit. Hold on. Give me a second. I don't know why, but like Discord like zooms in the camera compared to OBS. Like kind of actually pisses me off. All right. Let's get it. Yesterday wasn't bad, to be honest. How you been? I've been good, Frankster. Sells. Let's peep it. We did end up buying. Again, yesterday I was looking for buys. It was just a matter of me not getting the setup I wanted. Okay, price to just end up taking off from here. Let's go into UK 100 start off. I think buys are strong, to be honest, just because, again, like if we're looking at this range here, we've already facilitated a pullback. I'm not going to necessarily be looking for buys until we start breaking some highs like this. The only way I do see shorts is if we do see some type of short-term pullback of this bullish leg here. So at that point, like I can definitely see a shorting potentially into equilibrium down here, but I still need confirmation of like some break of flows or something like that. What's good, Joris? As far as DAX, again, same thing. I was looking for buys last night, never got the pullback I wanted. Price just kind of ripped. It is what it is, but same thing here. I can expect buys. Literally same exact thing where I still want to see a break of this high, okay? Because we're still technically within this bearish range on DAX within the internal structure. But if we're looking more at the swing structure, we are within this bullish swing leg. Had a pullback, pretty deep pullback, but never broke these lows. And honestly, I can expect price to continue to expand, to continue within that swing bullish trend. Okay, but it looks like we're definitely not going to see any trades today, just because, again, like where we're sitting within the higher time frames, we can still go bearish within this internal structure. So I need the break of this high up here to confirm bullish direction, and then we can play a pullback and continuation based off that. If price does end up selling off, same thing as we within even the internal structure, if that makes sense. We can see that we're still trending bullish within here, haven't broken the internal lows to like confirm we are going to continue back down. So we'll see. As far as NASDAQ did us good last night, or at least did a lot of you guys good last night. I got taken out of break even. Price ended up soaring. I know a lot of you guys made some money there. Let's see if we can catch anything today. I was looking at this earlier. It did exactly what I said. Again, if you guys remember yesterday, our target was to facilitate the pullback of this 15-minute bearish leg. What did price do? Again, we saw the internal structure going bullish where we looked for some buys, caught some buys. Again, I got taken out of break even. A lot of you guys made some money. But what did I tell you guys? Our target was 50%, or at least the pullback of this range. What happened after we pulled back within this range? We ended up selling back off. Why? Because we were already previously bearish. We needed the pullback to continue within that bearish structure. It's exactly what we did. Now creating this new bearish range. And what did price do after creating this new bearish leg? Had a pullback. So what can we infer is going to continue to happen? Can we trade UK 100 on legacy? No, you cannot, Andy. But going back to what I was saying, what can we infer should happen next, right? Obviously, now that we facilitated a pullback, we can assume that price should stay bearish within this trend and continue back down into these lows. So our target today, I'm going to say, are these lows. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go and just shoot for these lows. Okay, we may end up catching buys today, right? Just depending on how lower time frames look. We're on the 15-minute, but we are going to go even lower. So let's go down to the 5-minute. We can see that we had some internal lows here, nothing crazy, but we did end up breaking those. Never really had a deep pullback. Continue to expand further down and are now sitting within here, right? Not the best structure. Again, if we're playing like this 5-minute leg here, we could say, okay, we had a bearish sell-off, having a pullback. We could look for sells continuing back down. Obviously, buys can continue higher. Sorry. Let's go to the 1 minute, see what's happening over here. So no matter what is the case over here, as far as, again, we are internally bearish, I guess you can say. We are seeing, or at least within the 5-minute structure, we're bearish. Internal swing structure of the 1 minute, we are bullish. So we can see what may play out through here. We could catch some type of pullback, especially because we know that we're going to trade the 30-second here. And if we know that we can target some type of equilibrium of this bullish leg, because the price is going to continue bullish, it's going to have a pullback. Okay, and we're going to see signs of that with some type of internal break of structure As of right now, the only leg that I could see us play off of is if like price does come down, break this low, gives us a pullback, and then we take short down into here. Maybe no trade today. Yeah, it's not looking the best. We'll see though. Again, yesterday it took some time. Any trade soon? No, not that I know of, or not that I can see. Again, it is going to be a waiting game. But at the end of the day, like we are trading the 30-second to where, you know, it could be within, you know, 5 minutes after open. Someone claim my ticket. I'll talk to someone about that. Or Greg will see your message. Excuse me, I'm tired. But we'll see. But again, I am pretty much not interested in buys as of right now, just based off the conditions of seeing that we're within this bearish leg here, how to pull back, and we definitely can continue lower. But these are my bread and butter trades, where in my eyes we get no consistency rule. Well, there's always going to be a consistency rule. I don't know what to tell you, shorty. See, in the fucking, he's not even in the fucking live. See, shit like that fucking pisses me off when people say fucking stupid shit like that. It generally. Can anybody say when to enter? Yeah, I'll let you know when I enter. Bro, I'm dead ass about to ban this motherfucker. I can't even lie. It is actually irritating the fuck out of me. Sorry, shorty, but like, come on, if you're in the fucking thing. Wow. But going back to what I was saying, we are bearish. These are my bread and butters, guys. Like, you guys should know this by now. And the reason these are my bread and butters, these types of setups, if we get the setup presented, is because being that we're within this bearish leg, okay, obviously we can totally ignore this and go higher, right? But in order to go higher within this bullish internal structure, we're still going to need a pullback to then go higher, okay? We talked about this yesterday. We're always going to be moving in waves. We're going to go into premium, we're going to push down into discount, and from discount we'll go back into premium. So even if we want to go up, we're still going to have that pullback, which will allow us to potentially catch these short-term sells. But if we want to continue to sell off within this bearish leg, guess what? We're still going to see that same setup, and we're just going to be able to take price further down, potentially for a bigger RR. So see, shit like this is why people get banned. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that. But let's see what happens, guys. I'm excited about today. Hopefully we can capitalize from tomorrow. But we'll see. Again, this is the low that I'm interested in us taking first right now. But if we do end up coming up breaking these highs, we could end up looking for a break of this low here. And I would be comfortable playing that internal structure. Just because, again, like our whole objective for the day is potentially catch the pullback into the 50% here. I see on instant. All right. I'm done doing that. What are you trading, Juan? I'm trading NASDAQ right now. I'm trading NQ. Also, I do trade UK 100 and DAX, but I went over it and there's really just not much to see there. The fuck? There really isn't much on UK 100 and DAX, at least based off how I trade. It just definitely will be a waiting game for me. Like, we definitely could go and just shoot somewhere like off open, but it's just, again, like I'm very big on following my plan. Yeah. Yeah, Sen. It's crazy. But so I gotta make less than 450 every day for 5 days. Thank you, Sen. I hate that you guys can hear it. Frank, so I think he's talking about instant, which instant is less consistency just because you don't have to go through evaluation. Which, with that being said, guys, instant accounts are pretty fucking cheap right now. Use code Nick, get an even fatter discount. And again, with the instant accounts, it is 20% consistency rule, but the thing is, again, like, you can't, like, the biggest thing that people don't understand is like, oh, I have to make a little bit amount. No, you can make fucking, if you want to, $1,000 per trade, but you just have to have enough total profits where that $1,000 day is equal to 20% of your total profits. All right, guys, we have open soon. 2 minutes. I'm ready to see something. Honestly, want to see price kind of push a little bit. And the reason I want to see price push a little bit is just to see new high being made, or even just like a liquidation of these highs here, and then we can take a break at these lows. Bro thinks this trading shit is sweet. You gotta find out the hard way. That's a lot of people though, guys. But the thing is, like, you gotta give him kudos for trying. I can't even lie. Again, I give kudos to everybody who really is getting in the game and actually learning, looking to improve. I just thought he was fucking around at one point and trolling. All right, about to get open. 30 seconds. We'll watch DAX. You know, we'll just kind of see what's going on. Wait, hold on. Fuck. I'm just not liking anything. I'm just not liking the structure. Like, if anything, it'd be buys for UK 100, but even then, like, I wouldn't even feel comfortable taking this here just because the higher time frame shows that we're still within this bearish leg, and that just kind of pushes me away from that overall. DAX buys or sells. Again, like, I don't really like anything on DAX. Yeah, NAS is pretty choppy. Let's hope we get some good move right now. Holy fuck. Oh, okay, that's a 30-second. So we're pumping on DAX. Again, like, if you guys want to buy, like, we're definitely still bullish within here. It's just we're too overextended to my liking, where I just think there's less probabilities. Obviously, there's still probabilities for buys, just based off the fact that I guess we are still bullish and we have been bullish. But the way I like to look at it is, again, like, we are going to see a pullback. Doesn't necessarily mean that pullback is going to happen now, but it's the fact is, the way I look at it is, as soon as we break some type of high, even if it's an internal structure, the further we range or push away from that initial break of structure, the higher the probability is that we will have a pullback. So that's why, like in overextended markets, I'm not a fan of continuing to buy unless conditions are perfect, especially if price is overextended. And like my definition of overextended is like, let's say price broke here. Let's say as it went up, it trended beautifully. I would continue to buy if price was trending beautifully like that, yes. But the fact of the matter is price just pumped, meaning it still needs some type of pullback to make sense for price to continue higher. Obviously, yes, it can continue as high as it wants, but in most cases, price will come back into discount before continue higher. So there's a 50-minute bearish gap on Nasdaq. That's pretty far up. Okay. Here. Again, like I like sells for NAS just based off the fact that we are still bearish. We had a pullback and we could definitely look to continue price lower. Let's throw up the sessions to kind of see where we're sitting at. Asia, we have Asia sitting all the way up here. So that I guess looks better for buys in the sense of we took Asia lows, we could come up, take Asia highs. But at the end of the day, we don't necessarily need to take Asia highs. So I'm still going to play based off what price gives us. And even if it was to continue to buy, again, for me to be able to buy, I still need a pullback no matter what. Like I still need to see based off this low that obviously didn't break here, finally broke over here. So this is our swing low of the 1 minute. This is our swing high of the 1 minute. In order for me to even buy, I'd still need to see this pullback for me to feel confident in taking buys. Again, like I don't like just buying at the top of the move because like I said, majority of the time price will end up facilitating these pullbacks. Again, we can go back to yesterday's price action too to kind of get an example of that, where you can see up here, if I already kept buying up here just because price had this bullish impulse, I would have got fucked. Boom, had it sell off, had its pullback, had a deep pullback, continued back higher. What did it do? Broke structure. As it broke structure, had another pullback. Okay, where if you're buying at these highs after price has clearly broken structure and ranged or pushed quite a bit, had a decent amount of displacement, again, the probabilities just aren't there. Like there's some probabilities, but it's not the highest probability setup that we can take. So hopefully he doesn't want to tap the 5 minute gap for selling off greatly till you keep bullish gap down below. Yep, instant stop loss. Oh fuck, he got taken out. Yeah, I'm gonna wait, guys. Again, like we just took these highs. I like that. Like I guess we did internally break structure, but I also like seeing that as liquidity sweep. We have decent internal low sitting down here. So if we come down, break this low, I will take shorts potentially. Again, like we could look for some type of low like within here, but I just feel more confident if I saw price displace all the way down here and break these lows. Which again, like even if it took a while, we still have a lot of room until we hit 50%. So even if we wait for this break of structure, the likeliness of price just dipping all the way down, yes, it's there. It happened to us 3 times yesterday. But I think we'll break that structure, have a pullback, get entry, and then we can take price further down to 50%, where I'll probably exit at 1 or 2, but at the end of the day, we do have room to potentially hold on to this trade longer because, again, what does a 15-minute show us? We've been trending bearish very, very nicely. Okay, we've had our pullback. We know that price has come into a premium area, and we can take price back down into a discounted area, especially taking these lows. So price looks good for sales, though. I think we're going to dip here. Day like 1 hour max. Oh shit, yeah. If you've been trading for 1 hour, make sure you're reading rules. Make sure you're understanding that. No, what you were saying is like an instant stop loss setup type shit. Oh yeah. Oh. He's trading for the day. So DAX is ripping. See what UK100 is doing, still ripping. Again, like we could have taken, yeah, some type of break of some high or something like that off rip, but it's just not my style of trading, guys. Like, yes, this works. You know, 20-point stop, you would have ripped for like a nice little 1 or 2 already. So But I'd just rather wait, especially because NASDAQ has been blessing us, guys. Like, NASDAQ has been absolutely blessing. This is why I wait for the confirmation, too. But now we can actually move our low to this low here. So if we come down, break this low, we can take that pull back there. Looks like we could just rip here, but still no setups for buys either way. So I'm not going to rush anything. DAX is ripping. If you caught DAX buys, I know Emmett probably caught DAX buys, to be honest. Emmett probably ripped these into Asia highs. Nice, like 1 of 3. We'll see though. I'll give it about 30 minutes before I hop off just to see if we kind of get anything. I'm still expecting sells. Like, even though price is pushing bullish, guys, like, doesn't necessarily mean I'm just going to go and flip my bias bullish. Now I just point to DQ from Spirits like on the 5 minute. Yeah, true. You're right. Thanks for pointing that out, Joris. See you later, son. See ya later. Again, these are all recorded on YouTube Lives. What stacks? It's Jared 30. It's Europe index. Or Jared 40. But if you're trading futures on most futures platforms, it's not offered. That's why we trade NASDAQ as well, which I love NASDAQ, to be honest. But like George said, we actually did just tap into this 5 minute bearish leg here. So it actually does give us even more confluences for sells. It's just a matter of waiting for the setup at this point. You know, I'm not going to go and take these 5 minute sells. Like, we definitely could, but it would just be, I mean, it's 150 point stop loss. Like, I'm not going to take that. For those to be broken new leg before, yeah, once we get some type of bearish displacement and breaking some type of internal low, I definitely could see us taking some sells there. What do you think, US? Are you going to break all-time highs? Let's see. Fuck. I'd say, I mean, these weekly candles we just had a lot of hesitation with these highs. So depending on news, like, it could be end of this week or next week, but at the same time, like, seeing this reaction, if I'm just speaking about it from a technical standpoint, we could just dip down as well. We are just fucking ripping on NAS. Especially with all the news, yeah. NAS is absolutely ripping here. Fuck, I'm tired. There's no news, right? Nope. Check out silver if you do trade it. What was silver again? I'd never trade silver, guys. I'm gonna be fucking honest with you. It's something. Someone tell me, Frankster, you know it. As breaks all time highs again, bro, I'd actually be like fucking surprised, to be honest with you. No, I don't trade that shit. Yeah, exactly. I don't either. What is it? Silver USD. There's a name for it. Zag. There we go. What a G. Alright, let's peep the sessions. We're very oversold. Looks like we had a nice little bullish break here. If I'm just looking at it from a bearish stand, or I mean a technical standpoint, still bearish within this internal structure of the 1 minute. So if we do end up seeing price come up, break these highs, maybe a retest, and we can take price higher. But again, I don't trade silver. Good physical investment though. Absolutely hate how gold and silver move. Super. Yeah. Yep. I mean, I'm still favoring shorts here, guys. It's just a matter of waiting. Yeah, I fucking hate gold with a passion. I hate gold. Yeah, I think it was like, I think I told you guys yesterday, like one day a week, I think Sunday Asia session, I'll be taking over. Or doing Asia session. And like I low-key don't even want to trade fucking gold. I'm actually debating trading NQ just because, I mean, again, it's like Asia during NQ. It's like, come on. But at the same time, I've been looking at it. It doesn't move too bad. Can't even lie. I might do a full back test on gold just see how that perform. Dude, gold's a different mover. I think gold moves so differently. I mean, it is a commodity, I'd always say. But I'm just not a fan of how it moves, guys. Some people love gold though. Like I absolutely love it. I can't even say I have a love-hate relationship with it. Like I just have a hateful relationship with gold. It's pretty fucked. Alright, so we're seeing price start to kind of come back here. Which again, like I want to make sure it's not going to hold at these lows. Like I'm almost hesitant and waiting for like a break of this low, to be honest, just because seeing all this imbalance sitting right here, I'd hate to see price. Well, obviously we need to see a break of the structure first. So if we see good displacement past these lows, I will look for sells. Okay. Yeah, I know. He swings the fuck out of gold. 4 months. Okay. But at the same time, if we see 15-minute top wick hard. Wow, we had a beautiful trend on NAS on the 15 minutes. Just look how price moved here, guys. Just look at this. Obviously, we had a hesitation candle, had a nice bottom wick that led to a really nice bullish candle. And then what did you see? Right? Price left this imbalance on this candle closure. 15-minute came back, filled it, bottom wicked it higher. Again, left imbalance. What did price do on the 15-minute? Came in, filled that imbalance, bottom wicked it, leaped higher. Again, we left even more imbalance here on this candle. What do we do? Came back, filled it, went higher. Same thing here. Beautiful push there. Beautiful. Gosh, I'm so tired. The bad thing is I probably won't even fall asleep. When it leaves you, it left us 3 times yesterday, guys. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, we were looking multiple different opportunities. Just it like never just really gave us the setup again. Like we were looking for sells here, sold off without us. We were looking for buys down here, bought up without us. Looking for sells again in these areas because we knew price was going to pull back. It pulled back, didn't give us the setup. Finally down here we got a setup, and of course taking out a break even a little bit too early. Price just fucking soared. And same thing, we got another potential setup right here. Price never pulled back, took off without us. It was just one of those days. I was just ready to get off. You know, at least we didn't lose any money. I know a lot of you guys made money, which I'm glad. You know, but I didn't really make any money. So. But again, I've honestly had a really good month of May. UK 100 DAX, NASDAQ. Just haven't had any UK 100 DAX trades this week. This was just a potential trade, and again, price left without us, so. You should struggle with FOMO so much. Good, I'm glad you don't anymore. That's literally the biggest killer for a lot of people, FOMO and revenge trading. Like, if you can eliminate those two factors, like, you're going to see improvement in your trading. And again, to each your own. Like, some people, you know, one person could be a super big revenge trader, but not really a FOMO trader. And it could be the opposite way around for someone else. But in most cases, a lot of people do deal with both at some point in time. You just be like, yeah. You guys got to understand is like more is less. I know, like, I'm not the only person to ever say that. But the reason so many people say it, especially like successful traders, more is like less is more. That's what I meant. Less is generally more in trading. And it defeats the whole human psychology. That's why they say it's so hard for people to grasp the concepts of trading and actually become good traders, is because our psychology typically is more does equal more. You know, like doing more will give you more results, but it's pretty much the quite opposite of trading is less is more. Just because you see 10 opportunities in a day doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make 10 times more as someone who just sees one opportunity, because again, you could go and lose 9 fucking trades and win one. And it's just, again, more doesn't necessarily equal better results. It doesn't. Again, once you can become fine just like sitting on your hands and just waiting, that's why I say, like, we could have went to DAX and UK 100. I could have taken a breakout trade, right? I see people do it all the time. I see Emma do it all the time. I see Mamba do it all the time. I see Luca do it all the time. But the thing is that's their system. That's the way they look at the markets. I'm fine sitting on my hands waiting, taking quality over quantity. And that's the thing with them too, is they take quality over quantity, and you'll notice they're fine waiting. If the setup's not there, if prices rangy, choppy, they're not taking any trades, right? Again, you see the top traders in these live streams and in the industry, what are they doing? They're patient, they're taking quality over quantity, and they're making sure, again, like, they're taking good setups, right? It's not just taking a setup, take a setup. Yeah, again, like, our ultimate goal here is, like, yes, we want, like, we go live for a reason, like, to help you guys out. But like, we, like, again, take our trades, trade alongside with us. But the ultimate goal for you guys is be your own trader. Like, again, like, there's a lot of people in here, or even old people, that I've been streaming to for a while, who over time built their own system, or at least used my system or someone else's system to, have some type of system of their own to build on. And then they just come in here and use me as a reference, where it's not like they're necessarily trading alongside me, just taking my signals. It's just they come in here with their own bias, their own analysis, and they're just seeing my bias and analysis. But one thing I always tell you guys is, if you have a different bias or analysis than me, don't let my opinion change your analysis. And the reason I say that is because I'm not always 100% correct. Yes, I'm correct most of the time, but nonetheless, I still lose. And you still lose. So that's where, even if someone comes in here and says, well, I think NAS is going to buy up. Okay, that's nice. It may buy up, but I like sells based off my technical analysis, based off how I trade, based off what my system tells me to look for and do. Okay. And again, like, I think that's the biggest thing too, is just making sure you're not letting other people's opinions and trades and success affect your own journey. A lot of people just come in here and wait, buy or sell word blindly. Yeah, and again, like, that's fine to an extent. But, like, I tell you guys this all the time. Like, sometimes we start stream with 60, 70 people. And after trade, or if I say it's going to be a no trade day, we have 30 people in here. Those 30 people, in all honesty, hopefully I'm not hurting anyone's feelings. I shouldn't be. But those 30 people that stay around to just learn more, those are people who are more likely to see success, straight up. Just because, again, like, you're in here actually looking to learn, to apply something within your own system, within your own trading, rather than just coming in here and hoping that you make money that day. Greg, why are you fucking posting that shit? Wait till after stream. Nothing practice FOMO as well as watching Nick or Chris hit that hard banger while you just watch. Yeah. No, but no. What is your strategy called? I call it the Osprey method. Yeah. Like the way I trade, like I mainly just use price action and then the understanding of premium and discount. That's it. Um, like I wouldn't even consider myself a SMC trader other than like the understanding of liquidity. Um, but even then, like liquidity is like obviously I'm big on liquidity, but I think price action is king. Um, and again, it is just really understanding of how price moves. You know, price will push up into a premium. Like you guys hear this all the time. You know, I'm not the first person to tell you guys this. You probably heard the term buy low, sell high. And that term just references premium discount, right? Obviously, if we're at a low point, price is going to push up into a premium area where it's more expensive. At a more expensive rate, price is going to push down to a discounted rate because it makes more sense for price or institutions and banks to push price into a discounted rate so it's cheaper for them when they buy it back up, right? And that's why you'll see trends that'll be discount, premium, discount, premium. And it's the same thing back down. You know, when price flips trend and we're now bearish, it's the same thing. Price just gets pushed into a overextended discounted rate, but it still needs to come back up into a premium price before continuing back into a discounted rate. Okay, and that's just the understanding of that. Again, like we see it all the time. Like we saw it perfectly the other day. We see it every single day. Even if we don't necessarily have a setup, right, we still see price react the way we want it to react. It's just a matter of are we going to get the setup that we want. Okay, and again, like I'll literally show you from yesterday. If you guys were here, you guys know exactly how it played out. What do we see? Price push into a premium price. Discount. Premium. Discount. Premium. Discount. Premium. Okay. And again, like the understanding of multi-time frame analysis too is so strong and heavy because what can we understand from the higher time frames? One, we're bullish internally, but we can also come to terms or see or get an idea, okay, why were we bullish internally? Obviously because we're trending, but two, because if we go to the higher time frames, we can clearly see, oh fuck, where's that? We can clearly see that within the 15-minute time frame, we were sitting within a 15-minute swing bearish leg. Therefore, if we're in a swing bearish leg, we know that we're going to get a pullback, right? We're in discount, we're bearish in discount. We know that we're going to get a pullback into premium pricing, okay? So it's the understanding of that. And what do? Discount, we got the buys into premium price, where from there, price went deeper into premium price, but then obviously continued within that higher time frame swing trend, back into discount. And then what did it do from there? Came back up into premium, where we can infer most likely this session, if not later into New York. In theory, we should come back into discount and take these lows. Okay. Obviously, we don't necessarily have to. We could be at a point where trend flips, but again, we'll see. Top-down analysis, higher time frame, very important. Yeah. I think multi-time frame analysis and understanding how to put multiple time frames together and how they all kind of align, you're on top of it. Like you're solid. Like you don't need much else. Again, like this example should have explained enough how price moves and how price works and how you can use the 15-minute in alignment with the 1 minute to catch moves. Again, like I love catching pullback trades because I think it's my bread and butter, but I think it makes not necessarily the most sense. But again, if we're oversold, we see the internal price action start trending bullish. We know that we can and still have room to facilitate a pullback. I love taking these trades because there's just so much confirmation. There's so many confluences that tells us, in theory, we should continue to trend at least into the equilibrium. And then from there, obviously, I'd hesitate on buys until we see some type of bearish reaction to take price back down. But we're still waiting here, guys. So EQ, price structure, trading those highs, etc. Good. I'm glad, Lexi. And analyzing valid gaps on all time frames, bullish and bearish. Yeah. One day I legit just clicked for me as well, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah, it takes time. Again, like it's repetition. It's looking at the charts every single day and actually like seeing, okay, like this does play out. Like just the constant repetition of being there and watching price, seeing how it moves. Because again, like it is another language. I didn't understand this for the longest time. Like I understood trading, but like I was more or less like I understood premium discount, but not to the extent I know now. Like when I first started, I was trading like EMA breaks. Okay. But like as I got into it, I started trading supply and demand and taking off, demand zones and stuff like that, which is the same concepts as premium and discount. But it was me solely waiting for price to come into discount, then taking, a trade off of the demand or supply, where I started to realize over time, like being that I'm always waiting for the pullback into either demand or supply, what am I waiting for? Like the end of the day, I know if I'm going to catch this demand setup, price needs a pullback. If I'm going to catch this supply setup, price needs to pull back into the supply. If you can see the trend, we're having pullbacks, okay? And that's where I realized, okay, like price is giving us that pullback majority of the time, where the understanding of premium discount, I can catch these pullbacks if the trend aligns on the lower time frames to take price down into these discounted levels, up into these premium levels. I do sometimes take partials. So like with UK 100 and DAX, I was taking partials for the longest time. Recently, I haven't. But like I base a lot of things off data too. Like from last year, I did a lot of 101s, but then I started to like realize, okay, like a lot of my trades are running longer. NASDAQ, I typically just go from 1 to 2. Okay, no partials, just 1 or 2 clean in and out. Okay, the only time I'll move my stop loss to break even at 101, no matter what. Okay, if I'm on UK 100 and NASDAQ, whatever, 101 break even. Okay, risk free trade, and I'll let it run into 1 to 2. With UK 100, I typically would, let's say we took shorts here, I would move to stop break even at 101, so like lows, and then I'll close half my position at 101 and then let the rest run into 1 to 2, just because it allowed me to kind of secure partials and then let price run. But I started to notice that, again, like just based off data, data changes, things changes. I've been seeing more trades where volume stepping in, especially as we go into New York, where price is never really coming back into my break even to where I can hold for these full 1 to 2s and capitalize on a little bit extra profits. So I'd say right now I'm not really taking partials, just because, again, like I've been liking how price is moving. We're seeing a lot of volume. But again, it's to each their own too. Like I'd say at some point, like, if I were to want to hold longer, let's say we had opportunity to take sales here. Okay. There's a chance at 1 to 2, I may cut 80% of my profits, take 80% and leave the other 20%. And the only reason is because we have confluences backing up that sells are a higher probability here. And what I mean by that, the 15-minute leg here is bearish. We had a pullback, so we can ultimately assume price should continue lower. Just based off that fact, if we get some type of bearish setup within here, the understanding that we have higher probabilities to sell off will kind of incentivize me to hold partials down into these lows. Okay, but just a very small partial where, again, like I'm comfortable taking these 1 to 2s. Like you don't need these 1 to 3s, 1 to 4s, 1 to 5s, 1 to 6. Like no, like if your risk is good, you understand how to trade, you're at least getting 1 to 2s, I think you're solid. Okay. Do you think this daily candle could flip green to fill the gap? Are we talking on NAS, I assume? Are you talking about NAS, Athena? I feel like this little gap here. We definitely could. This indecision candle throws me off. We definitely could, but like I'm gonna continue to trade within this structure that we're seeing here, only if I see a setup. Again, like if price is just gonna keep fucking pumping and just not give us anything, just a no trade day for me. Would you recommend it though if you're risking small amounts? I think to each their own. I think if you wanted, like, here's the thing I like to say, if you want to start with partials, take partials. But the thing, like I talk about all the time, is getting data. What I mean by getting data is journaling every single trade. Just because, again, like with you journaling every single trade, after a month of taking partials, you should have enough data to kind of see, okay, is taking partials hurting me or is it helping me? And what I mean by that, obviously, if it's hurting you, that means, you don't need, like, let's say you're taking partials at 1 to 1 and price is pushing into 1 to 2, 1 to 3, more likely than, reversing on you. That means you're basically leaving money on the table. Because yes, you maybe thinking I'm taking partials to secure money, but in securing partials, you're also taking contracts or lots off your initial risk, which means as you go into your full 1 to 2, 1 to 3, it's actually not a full 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. So therefore, you could be hurting yourself. But it could be helping you because, again, like you could take partials at 1 to 1 and price may reverse on you and come to your stop loss or come back to break even, and at least you secured some money on the trade. Again, it can go both ways, but the only way to kind of dictate what's worth it, especially on the market you trade, again, a lot of it can depend on volume. Data will tell you. Data will give you a full picture on what's worth it, what's not. But the thing I like to say, and the reason I always keep up with data and I always journal my trades, is because at the end of the day, things can change. 1 quarter could be different than the other quarter. one quarter you could see price really giving you really nice moves, good volume, especially during your session, and the next quarter could be very choppy. Obviously, I'm not saying switch things up every single quarter, no, but after a 6-month period, a year period, you could start realizing, okay, I am leaving a lot of money on the table taking partials. It would be worth it based off data to not take partials and to have a different type of risk management plan. I'm in sell on NQ. Okay, fire. I'm not in yet, but later, Lexi, have a safe flight. Yes, sir, Michael. You're right. If we came up and broke this high up here, I would be comfortable playing this internal leg here. But we're just kind of chopping. But I definitely for that. I definitely stopped taking partials now. Okay. Again, if you're not taking partials, still get data on it. Still get data, because again, you may see that it's worth taking partials after so and so months. But the thing that I like to say is I really don't make any big decisions unless I have an extraordinary amount of data supporting making some type of change, because again, I make money, but my mindset is, if I can make more money, why wouldn't I? But again, I'm not just going every single week and saying, oh, based off this, I could make more money, I'm going to change something. No, that's bad. You don't want to change your system up too much. The thing with me is my system never changed. If you guys noticed from last year, if you've been with me from last year, my system has never changed. The only thing that has ever changed is my management plan. Is it, am I taking partials? Am I not? Am I holding for a 1-1 or am I holding for a 1-2? Right? Last week, I caught a 1-4 trade. Again, I typically go for 1-2s, but I told you guys, I think it was on UK 100. Or was it? Not last week, sorry, beginning of the month. I'm tripping. Is it here? It was here, I think. So again, we saw this bullish leg here. It was either this one or this one. Fuck, which one was it? I think it was the second trade. I don't even know. So we saw prices. No, I think it was this first leg. Even if it wasn't, this is an example. So we saw that price was bullish here. And again, the understanding that we're bullish, if we start seeing internal price action start shifting bearish here, yes, again, I typically hold for 1-2s, but in this case, I had a lot of room to hold here where I felt comfortable, especially because I made a lot of money this month, where I'm comfortable playing with profits. I was at break even, so I wouldn't have lost anything, but I was comfortable holding price down a lot further, because again, the understanding of price is, okay, since we're now internally bearish, we know that we are within our swing structure, very bullish and overextended, and in order for us theoretically to continue higher, we're going to need to pull back into discount price. I can hold longer because of the fact that I understand price is more likely to come all the way down into 50% before coming back up higher, right? And in these types of situations, again, this is really good data to get as well if you're going to start, adapting to the system, is because again, on certain trades, you can hold for more RR than others, okay? It's just depending on the conditions, depending on the confluences that you have, to give you more probabilities that you're better off holding longer, just based off the fact that price has the probabilities to sell off further, unlike any other trade. If this trade, let's say price was down here at this, and we took sales lower down, obviously I'm going to take my position out at 1-2 or right at 50%, because of the fact that price is so close to 50%, and 50% is typically a very big reaction zone where price is now at an equal rate or a discounted rate if it goes a little bit under it, where institutions and banks will now start to step in at 50%. That's where, again, sometimes you always, or most of the time, you see me entering at 50%, because that's typically our reaction zone, right? Not always, but typically. Five 30-minute swing in a couple hours. Okay. All right, guys. Looks like we're just fucking around on NASDAQ, to be honest. Obviously, I'm probably gonna be here for another hour and a half. Not on stream though. Probably just waiting to see what we can do here. We do end up displacing lower. I am gonna be looking for sales 100%. if we don't, it'll probably be a no trade day. Probably only gonna, again, like I said, only the next hour 30. Turn on my session. So we're still in my session, as you can see, for the next hour and 30 seconds. So you got some time. We got some time, but again, we are kind of starting to chop. I'm not seeing anything UK 100 or DAX that I like. NASDAQ is probably the only thing I'm going to be looking at and watching for some type of break. Again, like I said, these lows is the first area of interest, but even then, like, these lows are okay. I'd honestly prefer these lows at this point. Even though these are still somewhat valid, this would just give me a little bit more confidence. The only way we won't take these lows is if price does end up coming back up higher here, re-breaks these highs or at least liquidates them, and then comes back down to re-break internal lows. Then we'll move our, our break of structure, interest point up here. But it looks like we are going to start selling off here. Just we did create a pretty big, we did have a pretty big move. I can't even lie. So it's definitely going to be like another 20-30 minutes. Do you trade GR30? Yes, I do. Same system, same everything, same strategy. It's just a matter of we didn't really have anything today. Yesterday we had a potential opportunity, and again, like, this just goes to show like how price moves. Like yesterday we were looking for buys. The reason we're looking for buys is because, again, we had this bearish leg that sold off, broke the structure here. So at this point, we know after we broke a pretty good area of structure, we are bound for a pullback. So as we came into London Open, we saw that price did end up starting to break these internal highs, which gives us confirmation that we are now flipping in the internal trend. All I was waiting for was a pullback and a continuation to enter. I just never got the pullback. And again, that's going to happen sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time. But nonetheless, again, like, it still played out in the sense of the understanding that price needed to facilitate this pullback. Even though it is looking like it's going higher to flip trend here, that doesn't necessarily matter, because what mattered is we saw the internal flip. We had the confluence as far as we needed the pullback. Simple as that. We got the pullback, and at this point, we can see that price is now flipping trend. Okay, and this is why I told you guys, like, I just wanted to sit on my hands today, just because, again, we are so close to this high. Yes, we theoretically should have continued bearish, but nonetheless, the higher time frames, and this is why multi-time frame analysis is so important, could be telling us otherwise. Like, higher time frames here, like the 4 hour, what is the 4 hour swing narrative? Bullish leg, pullback. So what theoretically should we do on the 4 hour? Continue higher. This is why I preach multi-time frame analysis, because this would have kept you guys out of any sell position, just because of the fact that, yes, even though we were still within this internal 15-minute bearish leg, the higher time frame narrative is usually stronger, and it called for buys, right? So as we break this 15-minute high, it may take a setup in New York if price now completes a pullback of this new 15-minute bullish swing or internal leg of that 4 hour bullish leg, because at that point it would just be in alignment with the 4 hour structure. 4 hours bullish, 15-minute is now shifting internally bullish of that 4 hour swing leg. Simple. Okay. Do you also use legacy trade on something different? I don't know if yes already. For DAX and UK 100, I trade my live account. I trade live DAX and UK 100. When it comes to NASDAQ or NQ, I do trade legacy. So it looks like we had a massive push on the fucking NQ. Let's see it. So again, like I said, if we do end up getting another push above these highs or liquidating them, our interest for our internal low will be here. And then we can obviously, like, let's say price does break it, comes back down, breaks this internal low, then I'll definitely be looking for sells at our 50%. Okay. This is theoretical. This is if price does give us that break and does come back down to give us that change of character back down. If NAS goes for all-time highs, I don't even know what to say. I mean, it could. Again, like someone did mention the daily flip into that gap. That definitely could be, something that could happen here. But nonetheless, again, like, we'll see how price moves. If it just rips, it rips. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'll just let it do what it wants. But it gives us what I want. It gives us what I want, and then, I'll be on my way. So we'll see, though. I mean, I guess I'll stick around here for maybe like 5 more minutes. I just want to see what happens. I'd really just like to see like maybe a liquidation or a break. Either or would be fine with me, just to kind of create this internal low here. Yesterday I called these buys, sadly, fucking sadly. I got out at break even, but a lot of people stayed in and caught this full like 1 to 2.5. I think someone caught a 1 to 3 up into equilibrium. But not bad. So break even for me so far, but there was a lot of opportunity yesterday. When I say opportunity, like there was no real setups, but directional bias was on point. We were originally looking for sells at these highs, but just never got the setup. Price took off without us. Again, as price facilitated the pullback of this bullish leg, we were looking for buys here, but price did end up taking off without us. Here, we were looking for sells. Price took off without us. Didn't give us the real confirmation that I needed. Like I knew sells were going to happen, but it was just a matter of we never got the break of structure pullback that I like to see. So that happened, and then we finally got our setup here, which was just, again, bullish trend. Obviously, beautiful trade there. I just got out of break even a little bit too early. So it is what it is, though. But we'll see if we get a trade today. If not, again, like I'll be back tomorrow for sure. But it looks like we're coming back up to break these highs, so I'm gonna stick around for a little bit, just to see if we can actually get something on stream. But again, we could just continue to push higher and higher, and at that point, like, I'm not gonna force anything. I need to start playing music in these streams. I'm fucking okay. I can't even sit on board. Yeah, I knew what's his name caught Dax Emmett. Play some Mario Judah. Biggest upside from it could fly right now, but sketchy for sure. Yeah, again, like we could just fly, guys. Like I'm not in anything right now. Like if it's gonna fly, it's gonna fly. But I'm not gonna impulsively get into a trade, just a trade. Again, like I preach to you guys all the time. You know, like just being able to sit on your hands. Like, and I want to be like a perfect example of that. I'm not saying like if I wasn't here, I'd be fucking entering buys. Like no, like again, like I just want to show you guys what like real fucking trading is. Like not just here to gamble and take every break of a high and just shoot fucking whatever. No, like yeah, it works, you know, but again, that's just not my way of trading. Hopefully at 70% of the shoots I'm getting the setup we're looking for. Yeah, like you guys could definitely take like this 5-minute leg, but I like to wait for the confirmation of some type of 1-minute flip, you know, 30-second flip. Again, like we could just come into this imbalance, react off 71% and melt off, but that's still a really big stop loss if we were trading the 5 minutes at like 80 points, 90 point stop loss. Looks like we're having a decent reaction off 7%. Again, like I expect price to come back down here. So if we get a break these lows, like as long as we, well, one, we got to get a break of the low. Then two, we got to get the pullback necessary where we can then take price back down. But we typically will see that. So no trade tonight. Yeah, like I still think I'm gonna catch a trade tonight. It's just a matter of I may be off stream just because I am getting a little bit tired. I want to get some work finalized and finished before the night ends. I've been trying to fix my sleep. It's a little bit hard. I love staying up late, but then I hate it in the morning. I'll sleep till fucking ungodly hours. We'll see. Probably gonna end it here, guys. Again, I am looking for a trade. If we see price displace back down, break some lows, internal lows, gives us a setup I want, which again would be break of structure, pull back, and then we can take price entry at 50%. If we see something like that, I will be entering. Okay. That being said, I'll be back tomorrow. No trade on stream today. We'll see if I even take anything. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Obviously, if I take a trade going into tomorrow, I'll tell you guys win or lose, break even, whatever. That being said, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys learned something today. Again, remember, go use code Nick. Get yourself a nice little fat discount right now, especially if you want to trade with me tomorrow. Again, like May's been treating us right. You know, I want to make some more money too. I made decent money, but I want to make some more money. So go get yourself an account. Use code Nick. Get right. Get an instant account. Again, you don't have to fucking deal with the evaluation phase and stuff like that. And yeah, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, guys. Later, YouTube. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, you guys can go to Legacy Funded Futures. Use code Nick. Get yourself a nice little discount.